Hey, welcome to the range. I'm here with Tim Graves, my brother and partner in crime. We are going to talk about some of the stuff that we do every day. I mean, we practice every single day. This is kind of a home away from home right here on this driving range.
Definitely.
And I thought what we would do is discuss how important it is to have some focus when you practice. Because I mean, you know, for me, I have a purpose every time I show up on the range. I don't just come over and hit balls. Like matter of fact, and I'll just give a quick example for me. I have not been playing a lot in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. The last thing I'm going to run out here is start hitting drivers, right? Pounding drivers.
Right.
You know me, I like hitting lots of drivers.
Right.
So I literally run over here and I work on my position just to get the feel back.
Right.
I don't think, yesterday was the first day I hit some drivers with you in 3 weeks. Because I knew that if I ran out here and started pounding drivers, but I didn't feel good, I didn't hit many balls.
Right.
So you have to have a reason to be here on the range. One of the things we do in the coaching program in the Single Plane Academy is we have Single Plane Reset in weekly videos on the Graves Golf On Demand app. Just go on your app store, make sure you download that. And I wanted to ask you, you focus your practice a lot. Tell me how important that is.
Oh, it's big time important. I mean, it's critical because, I mean, we're always comparing. I mean, we're on this beautiful driving range here, and you know, and there's literally 20 spots here, and it's one of the best practice facilities in the world. And people, they know we're teachers, and they constantly come out here and they're talking to us, you know, because we say this is our home away from home, but this really is our getaway. This is where we can kind of go hide out and not be at our training facility.
I don't teach that much.
You don't teach it, but they'll come talk to us.
Yeah.
And the reason they're coming to talking to us is because I think they're trying to find focus what they're practicing on. Because when I watch them, and I'll come out here every day or every couple of days, and I'm out here quite a bit, where I can get away and hide a little bit, and I'll come out here and I'm watching these guys doing the same thing over and over again. It's almost, I call it almost like aerobic exercise. They're out here just doing, and they're having the same faults, the same swing issues, and they're struggling. I mean, or they're not getting any better, and because they don't have that focus. And honestly, that was one of the biggest reasons that we put down the weekly videos in the program. We did that so it gave people weekly focus. Well, our weekly videos have indoor practicing.
Well, then we theme things out too.
Right.
And for example, short game. We'll theme putting, short game, all the elements of the game, which allows you to focus on one aspect. Because personally for me, and I want to ask you too, like what's your best weekly tip is, like what are you working on this week?
Right.
But like you don't sit there you don't randomly go, I'm going to work on all parts of my game.
Right.
You're like, I need to work on my driving, or I need to work on my putting. Like I've been working on my putting.
Right.
You pick something and you focus on that for a period of time.
Right.
To me, I don't know what it is about that, but your brain can only handle so much energy on one thing. Plus you learn, you're in this learning mode.
Absolutely.
You know, or you're in the changing mode.
Right.
Like I watched you work on your putting yesterday over there, and you're working on getting your hands a little ahead, and you're working on getting the putter down the line. And you're talking to me about your shoulder position. So you're focused on that one thing. Right. And you didn't run over here and go, okay, I'm gonna get some drivers now. You didn't do that. You just said, I'm gonna work on this, and then I saw you leave. So it's like, pick that one thing. Right. You know, what's that one thing that's going to...
Well, you know, a perfect example of this is, and we just did a video on this, and we actually did a whole 15, 20 minutes on this, was we talked about how we did a short game school. We did a short game school about 2 weeks ago, okay? And in that short game school, like typically, we saw all our students get up there, and a majority of them, when they took the club back, had a toe down position. So when they got the club to waist high in a long chip or a pitch, the toe was down.
Hooded.
Well, it's hooded. Well, it could have been a grip issue, it could have been, but what ended up happening is when they get that toe down, they come down, they're trapped in the shot. Now they have all these compensations in their movement trying to get their face square. Because if they literally went into a flex lead knee.
Yeah, because when the toe's in the correct position, you have angle.
Right.
And when you don't, you're...
Right, and so we literally then, we went out, we said, let's do a weekly video on this, because we saw this was a common fault and we needed a common fault fix. So we did a weekly video, you know, in the program of bringing this club, where we talked the elbow going in and up. So, you know, going in and up with the club.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just show them.
So basically, what you typically see with the average golfers, you see they'll get over a shot, and when they get over it, when they bring the club back, the elbow flies out a little bit, and because they're trying to get the shaft straight down the line, and the elbow tends to fly out. Well, that turns the toe down, or it won't get to proper position. We're trying to get a toe up position at waist high. Well, as we get to that position, this shaft will follow the shoulder going back. So we want the elbow, and you say this all the time, going in and up. So it goes in and up in the back elbow. Well, it's the same thing in a chip, a pitch, it doesn't matter. So the weekly video was work on the elbow going in and up, and we literally did a challenge of the elbow going in and up. So we wanted them to get waist high with the shaft going, following the shoulder, toe up. That's all I wanted was this position, and then we're gonna hit a couple shots. And that was all we're doing. So we're going in and up with the elbow, hit a few shots.
Now, let me ask you this. So you see a weekly video, like this is what you're focused on.
Right.
How much, like if you're out here for 30 minutes, how much of your time would you spend doing that?
Almost all of it.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal, if I'm not doing it correctly, or if it's something I think is an issue, or which is a majority of golfers, why do anything else? It doesn't make any sense. Because if I took that, think about it, if my toe is down and I take the club further back, now I'm just gonna hurt myself.
Well, and I think one of the things that's missing, the problem with most people's practice, is that what we just identified there without even really knowing it is we pick one thing.
Right.
We just pick 100%. One thing. We focus on one thing, and that's what we work on until we get it.
Right.
Or we get comfortable enough with a new position of toe up.
Right.
We work on one thing. We don't. First of all, we know we work on one thing. We have something to work on, which is what the weekly tips are for. But then we just work on it until we get it. And that's, to me, that's the problem. That's like we practice with a lot of good players. That's all I see good players do. They find one thing and they focus on it until they get that one thing. And they don't get off it until they get that one thing.
100%, and that's a combination of sending in videos for video work, on the program, watching the weekly videos, doing that. Sometimes you even be able to analyze yourself after you've been instructed enough through the weekly videos or through the sending videos into the coaches. But the other thing on this is that, remember, we're working on a single model. So if I look at Tom and John and Mary and Sue, I'm trying to get their elbows in the same position. It may look a little different because one may be 6'10", one may be 5 foot tall, but the elbows are in the same position.
But the club has to be in that position.
Right, we're working with the club. So that's the beauty of this. So when we give a weekly video out, it works for everybody. That's the difference I see when I watch this range. Because
true.
I'm sitting on this range right now and I'm watching Victor Hovland sit next to me, and right next to him is Matthew Wolff, right next to him is Willie Wood. So you got 3 of the top players in the world. They're right here practicing. There's 3 completely different golf swings.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they're even talking to us sometimes about what they're working on. I mean, I know they've come up and talked, but I'm looking at guys taking the club this way and that way. That's not what we do. We're working on one model. So we can put out weekly challenges. We can put out weekly videos, and it works for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what we do. That's the model we teach works off one model, Mo's model. Single plane model. And if you can do that, you can put weekly videos, and they can be putting, they can be chipping, pitching, full swing, it can be bunker, be whatever. It all works for everybody. And that's the beauty. It's interesting. When we put out weekly videos, it's crazy the amount of response we get. Like, I needed that. I can't believe how much I needed that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had no idea I needed that. Because I went and checked it, and it was like, wow, I didn't know I needed that. Well, guess what?
It's just focus.
It's just focus.
It's getting people to refocus on their practice. And to me, if you can keep that focus over a period of time, you get it. That's how you quickly get people to improve.
Yeah. So right now, let's give the one to the guys at home right now. So we'll give them a shortcut to this. It basically is, when they're setting up right now, when you get the club back to waist high, you want that toe of that club up. You don't want it at 45 degrees. You don't want it the other way. We want that toe up in the air.
You always have checkpoints. So show me your checkpoint.
So my checkpoint when I step over this, and I'll hit a 3/4 shot here, but my checkpoint when I step up over this is when I get to waist high. It's all I want. I want that toe up, and I want this shaft. It's not down the line. The target line is following my shoulder.
Well, and stay right there for a second. So I want to point something out. It's down the line, but you notice the arm is somewhat folded. And you're getting a little bit of a leverage angle there, so you have angle of approach. See, that's what, when Tim was showing you the incorrect position, there's no angle of approach. You can't compress the golf ball from there. Now that club has so much more angle coming down from there. Well, that's why that position is so important.
But so if we get to this position here, tell me right now, how important is this position to speed?
Massive.
Massive.
Well, to me, it's position and speed are fundamental.
Right. But so here's the deal. So I'm teaching you, or we're working, I'll say we're in a weekly video, we're working on a correct elbow position.
Well, let's put it this way. If you don't get the position, you don't get speed.
Right. But let's tell the guys at home this. Let's talk about this for 1 second. So let's say you're out here working with me today. And give an example of this, because this is what kind of really blows a lot of golfers' minds on this, to be honest with you. Let's say I'm out here working on this position right here. So let's say I'm here, and all I'm doing is just doing this right here. And I'm working on that position. I'm working this elbow, okay? And I'm just taking half swings. I'm not even trying to hit. I'm trying to hit it okay. I'm just trying to take half swings, okay? And now, because let's say I was doing this, okay? Let's say I was doing this, which a lot of golfers do, and I'm trying to make impact there, and I'm getting to this position, okay? Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this straight out, and I haven't asked you this today. So if I get to this position here, and I'm working the elbow right versus the incorrect position, how much advantage and distance for my driver will that be?
Massive.
So tell me, what do you mean? What do you mean, Matt? Because see, most people can't put this together.
Well, so that little motion there translated into a full driver's swing.
Right.
Because you can't compare it because the club has a different face angle too. So now you got spin rate changes, you got launch angle changes.
So let's say
it changes everything.
So let's say I'm the golfer who did this with the driver.
Yeah, no chance.
And all of a sudden I start doing this with the driver. Will that affect my distance?
Absolutely.
Dramatically, right?
50 yards.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so this is why when we do weekly videos.
Well, I want to reiterate that point. what Tim's saying here is that just because you're working on this with a 9-iron or chipping, it's affecting your driver.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And that's what we need, because everything we do is related in a model.
So in other words, instead of going out there and pounding drivers, trying to get good with the driver, just work on that position and it solves the driver. Oh yeah, exactly.
And that's why we get such dramatic response from our students, because they'll see it. They'll do that. All of a sudden they'll go on the golf course and play like, what just happened?
And I want to end the segment here because we got some other stuff to talk about. But this is what drives me nuts. That's why I asked you the question, how long would you do that for?
Oh yeah.
They'll do it 5 times and go, okay, I got it. No.
You do it until you get it.
You do it until you that's all you know.
Right.
You do it until that's where it goes. Like you don't think about it.
Right.
And that takes practice. How long does it take you to learn something new? If let's say you were working on that, and how long would it take you to get that ingrained?
Weeks. But I'm also the guy that will go do it inside. I'm also the guy that hit whiff balls inside.
And you'll just be kind of.
I'll be in front of my TV. I mean, I'll be literally doing in front of my TV, just doing this, watching a football game on TV, doing this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's the only thing I want to do or know how to do. 100%. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching the Graves Golf YouTube channel. Now, if you're looking to master your game and become a complete single plane 360 golfer, we've just launched our new Graves Golf On Demand app. It's like Netflix for everything single plane. To get you more consistent, have more fun, gain longevity in your game, have confidence, and of course, shoot lower scores. Graves Golf On Demand is your coach in your pocket to build confidence in your single plane swing, short game, and putting, and it's available on every one of your devices. Click the link in the description below for the Graves Golf On Demand app and start getting the game-changing video coaching you need to become a complete single plane 360 golfer.